It had been one of those gray, tired evenings, the kind that felt heavier than usual. The rain had started before sunset, turning the sky into a hazy watercolor of silver and blue. Emily sat curled up on her couch, a blanket around her legs, staring at the empty side where her late husband used to sit. Even after 3 years, the silence still stung. It was the kind of quiet that reminded her that some people leave, not because they want to, but because life doesn't always give us choices. Her small town in Oregon was peaceful but lonely. Most of her friends had moved to the city or started families of their own. Emily had her job at the local library and her small house at the end of Willow Creek Road, but even the sound of turning book pages wasn't enough to fill the silence anymore. That evening, as thunder rumbled in the distance, a knock came at her door. She hesitated for a moment, clutching the blanket closer. It was late, and no one usually visited her after dark. Cautiously, she peeked through the small window by the door, and saw a man standing there, soaked to the bone, holding a small duffel bag. He couldn't have been more than 32. His hair was wet and messy, and his eyes carried something, exhaustion, but not danger. She opened the door halfway. "Hi, I'm sorry," he said, voice trembling slightly from the cold. "My car broke down a mile back, and there's no signal out here. I saw the light from your porch and thought maybe I could use your phone." Emily hesitated, but something in his voice, polite, careful, almost too gentle, made her nod. "Of course. Come in. You're freezing." He stepped inside, dripping water onto her mat. She offered him a towel and motioned to the couch. The same couch where she had spent countless evenings lost in her thoughts. "I'm Emily," she said softly as he dried his hair. "Ryan," he replied with a faint smile. "Thank you. I didn't mean to bother you. It's fine. Happens to everyone around here when the weather turns." He called the tow truck, but the storm had already forced most services to stop for the night. The earliest help would come in the morning. Emily felt that familiar tug in her chest, the one that made her say yes before she could overthink. "You can stay on the couch tonight," she said. "It's clean. I'll get you some blankets." Ryan's eyes widened. "That's too kind. Are you sure?" She nodded. "The roads are a mess. I wouldn't let anyone sleep in their car tonight." That night, while Ryan settled on the couch, Emily retreated to her room, yet sleep refused to come. She could hear the soft hum of the heater and the quiet rhythm of his breathing. It was strange how peaceful it felt, as if the silence had company now. In the morning, sunlight streamed through the window, painting the room gold. Ryan was already up, making coffee in the kitchen. Emily blinked in surprise. "I hope you don't mind," he said with a sheepish grin. "You had coffee beans, and I thought it's the least I could do." She smiled, really smiled, for the first time in a while. "I'll never say no to coffee." As they sat together, she learned little pieces about him. Ryan was a traveling carpenter. He took small jobs restoring furniture in cabins across the state. He'd grown up in Montana, lost his parents young, and preferred the road to staying still. Something about that rootless life felt familiar to her, even though she'd never left her small town. When the tow truck finally came, Emily felt an unexpected tug of sadness. "Take care out there," she said as he stood by his car. "Thank you for saving me from hypothermia," he joked, but his eyes softened. "You've got a good heart, Emily." And then he was gone. Weeks passed. Emily went back to her quiet routines, though the couch seemed emptier now. One afternoon, while she was shelving books at the library, she heard someone say her name. "Emily." She turned. There he was, Ryan, holding a small box wrapped in brown paper. "I was passing through again," he said. "I fixed something for you." Inside the box was a small wooden bird figurine, carved perfectly, smooth to the touch, wings curved as if ready to take flight. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "Thought your living room could use some company," he said with a grin. That small act sparked something. He started stopping by more often, offering to help fix the fence, paint the porch, or bring her vegetables from the farmer's market. Emily found herself laughing more, even humming while cooking. Ryan, with his easy humor and kind heart, slowly began stitching color back into her gray days. One evening, after repainting the front porch, they sat on the couch again, the same couch that had once been a symbol of loneliness. The air smelled of fresh paint and rain. You know, Ryan said, I used to think home was a place you built. Turns out, it's a person who makes you feel seen. Emily looked at him quietly. That's funny. I used to think love was something you only get once. But maybe it just looks different each time. He smiled, and in that quiet, unspoken moment, they both knew their hearts had found something unexpected. Not to replace what was lost, but to remind them that healing could also look like laughter on a porch, or shared coffee in the morning. Months went by. The seasons changed, and so did their lives. Emily reopened her garden, and Ryan started his small furniture workshop in town. They didn't rush anything. There were no big declarations, no dramatic gestures, just a quiet, steady bond that deepened with time. When her birthday came, Emily walked into her living room to find it decorated with fairy lights and flowers. Ryan stood there, holding a small cake that looked a little crooked but smelled heavenly. You didn't, she gasped. I did, he smiled. Because you deserve to be celebrated. That night, surrounded by soft laughter and candlelight, Emily realized that the couch, the same couch that once symbolized her loneliness, had become the place where her new chapter began. Years later, whenever she told their story, she'd smile and say, it all started with a knock on the door and a broken down car. But what really broke that night wasn't his engine, it was my silence. Because sometimes, the things we never planned for end up becoming everything we never knew we needed. And for Emily, love didn't come with fireworks or grand confessions. It came quietly, like a gentle rain after a long drought, healing, soft, and real.